full story in English. The secret weapon that shattered German defenses. The Second World War was at its peak. Europe was burning under the thunder of guns and the endless march of armies. German defenders believed their fortifications were unbreakable. Their bunkers were strong, their artillery was ready, and their soldiers waited with confidence for any enemy foolish enough to challenge their lines. But what they didn't know was that the Americans had developed a weapon that would turn their plans to dust. That weapon was the Amphibious WW, a machine that could roll on land and glide across water with equal ease. At first glance, it looked like nothing more than a simple truck. But in reality, it was a predator built for war, designed to appear where the enemy least expected it. It was June 1944, the shores of Normandy. German machine gunners scanned the horizon, prepared to rain death on Allied landing craft. They were certain that any invasion would come from ships, barges, and landing boats. But then, as the morning sun lit up the waves, shadows began to rise from the sea. One after another, hundreds of Dukas emerged from behind the surf. The German defenders froze in disbelief. Trucks? On the ocean? Their minds struggled to accept what their eyes were seeing. The Dukas cut through the water with ease, carrying soldiers, weapons, ammunition, and supplies. As soon as they touched the sand, the machines transformed, rolling forward like trucks, charging straight into battlefield. German artillery opened fire, shells exploding all around. But the Dukas kept coming. Their unique design allowed them to weave, dodge, and push through the chaos. The German commanders were stunned. Their maps, their plans, their defenses, none of them accounted for this kind of weapon. Soldiers shouted orders, but confusion spread faster than discipline. The defenders had no strategy for this. It was as if a phantom army had risen from the sea. The Americans used the Dukas with ruthless efficiency. They were not just vehicles. They were lifelines. They carried men and supplies directly from ships to the front lines. No longer did the Allies depend on fragile landing boats alone. Now, they had an unstoppable fleet of amphibious trucks that could keep the invasion alive. One German soldier, years later, recalled, "We had seen tanks. We had seen planes. We had seen everything war could throw at us. But trucks that swam out of the ocean? That day, we knew the war was lost." The DUKW became the silent hero of the invasion. It gave the Allies the logistics, the speed, and surprise they needed to shatter the Atlantic Wall. At Normandy and beyond, it delivered men, weapons, and hope, carrying the weight of victory on its steel frame. The German defenses had been built for storms of fire, but what they faced that day was something different, a tide of machines they had never imagined. And in that moment, as the Dukas rolled ashore, the fate of the war began to shift.